Welcome to another episode of my live stream, my journey to the Trinity, and I'm happy to be with you. Happy that you could be with me. And today I'm talking about. First of all, before I start, I just want to say that a few days ago, it was not even a few weeks; it was just a few days ago. I had a cousin who sent me a response to one of my videos, and the response he sent me was of a guy on TikTok. This guy on TikTok, and I'm not 100% sure what his name is. I never heard of the guy before, but apparently he's very well known on TikTok, and he has been doing a lot of videos, and he is an American, Caucasian, and also he converted to Islam. And so anyway, I just wanted to show you his picture because I did a response to him a few days ago, a response to his video that my cousin sent me the video of this guy. And so let me just show you the guy, show you his picture. You may know him if you're into YouTube, if you're into Islamic stuff on YouTube. This guy was a convert to Islam, and but I believe this is the guy that I just heard from the apostate prophet that this guy did. He has left Islam, so I guess you would call him my first devert, because they call people who convert to Islam reverts, because they say everybody's a Muslim, everybody's born Muslim, but then they get deceived somewhere along the line and become something else. Well, this guy became a Muslim, and he was very popular on TikTok, had over 200,000 followers. But then today he put up a message saying that he left Islam. So he is no longer a Muslim. So this was a few days after I did a response video to him. I don't know if you remember the video I did, but it was specifically to this guy because he was responding to the subject of my video. Well, my cousin sent me this guy's video in response to my video. My cousin's name was Ahmed, who sent me the video. But anyway, this guy apparently has left Islam, and he's not a Christian. He's saying that he's not a Christian either. I mean, he did not become a Christian. He just left Islam. And so anyway, I guess you'd call that my first devert. He was a revert, and now he's a devert because he left Islam. So anyway, shalom. How are you, Dragona? Welcome. Today, you guys, I wanted to do a little video just about, quite often with Islam, there are things that that don't make sense, but Muslims try very hard to make sense of them, and I call that the pretzel situation, where you're trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense, and or you're trying to justify something is not right, and so today I wanted to give out awards. I'm going to give out 3 awards. One of them is going to be the bronze pretzel. One is the silver pretzel, and one is the golden pretzel. And these awards are going to be given to the videos where people twist themselves up into knots trying to say something. And so I'm just going to show you 3 videos that I think deserve these awards because of the way that they try to make it say something that it doesn't say, or the way they try to make the Quran say something that it doesn't say. And I'm doing really well. God bless you. Oh, you're having coffee. I'm just about ready to go to bed. I'm having some popcorn as my dessert before I go to bed. Oh, Anyway, these are my, so let me just show you the 3 videos. The first video that I want to show you is the Bronze Award video. And we have done so much with Yasser Qadi. We've shown so many videos by him, but he has given us so much valuable information that I want to give the bronze pretzel to Yasser Qadi specifically for this video.
Every single student of knowledge knows, who studies Ulum al-Quran, that the most difficult topics are ahruf and qira'at, and the concept of ahruf and the reality of ahruf, and the relationship of the Uthmanic Mus'haf with the ahruf, and the preservation of the ahruf. Is it 1, is it 3, is it 7? And the relationship of the qira'at to the ahruf. This is a topic that when you're the beginning student of knowledge, you're like, what is all of this going on here? When you go a little bit more, you learn to simply memorize what your teachers say and regurgitate it out, and you don't fully comprehend. When you do a deep dive is when things get very, very awkward and difficult. And this isn't new. This is from the time of the Sahaba. This is not a joke, brothers and sisters. The issue of ahruf and qira'at caused confusion to somebody whom the Prophet ﷺ said, if you want to listen to the Quran directly, listen to Ubay. Ubay is not some even average Sahabi. He is the Qari of the Quran. He is the master. He is who he is. And he goes, فَدَخَلْ فِي نَفْسِي شَكْ. What is all of this stuff? Again, this is you asked me some very honest question. It's the first time I'm saying these things. Many people are aware who listen to my lectures that I've mentioned the crises that happened to me at Yale. This was the issue. That the issue of ahruf and preservation and qira'at and relationships between them, these are very, very difficult issues. And the most advanced of our scholars, they're not quite fully certain how to solve all of the unanswered questions in there. Here's the point. These issues should only be discussed amongst people who know what the qira'at are and who understand some of these questions that are being raised.
So is what you're saying the shak that came, or not the shak, but the crisis that you had was in relation to this question of the relationship between the ahruf and the qira'at, basically?
No. The crisis I had wasn't that. The crisis I had was, well, yeah, wait, that was what generated. But what was the crisis? The crisis was very simple. Traditional understandings of ahruf and qira'at cannot answer some of these pressing questions that are now being poked by our people outside of, by our academics, by their academics outside of the faith tradition. You see, in a Muslim environment, there's always some respect that we have for the Quran. We should. In a Muslim environment, we'll press a little bit and then we'll say, okay, khalas, sami'na wa ata'na. And that's great, alhamdulillah. When you go to academia, they don't have that red line. And they're going to just, the famous story of the emperor with no clothes. They're going to just point out, no, that doesn't make any sense. Well, that's not true, and this and that. And they'll bring issues, which I'm not going to mention explicitly, that you know are true because they're in your own books. They're not inventing anything new. They'll bring you riwayat, and they'll bring you athar, and then you add to that very well-known issues of, I don't even want to be explicit. And then you bring on top of that makhtutat, and then. And it's very clear to you and to every single very advanced student and specialist that the standard narrative has holes in it. That's what I'm going to say. The standard narrative does not answer some very pressing questions.
All right. So for that, what Yasser Qadi said there, now he said a lot of things there. And, one of the things that he said that I found most insulting, one of the things he said that I found most insulting is that he said that you're not supposed to talk about this in front of people. Yeah, this is only between the scholars. So this, the Muhammad Hijab, who was interviewing him, who's a very devout Muslim, he's got a huge following on YouTube. His issue is there one Quran? Is there one Quran? That's what he's asking him. Is there one Quran? And one thing that Muhammad Hijab does is he says, okay, yes, Yasser Qadi, very well respected. He says, if I give you this piece of paper and I ask you to write down the inspired al-wahi, the revelation, what would you write? And you know, Yasser Qadhi says? He says that's a very difficult question. It's a very difficult question. And he said, and Muhammad Hijab says, I don't think it should be a difficult question. I don't think it should be a difficult question. Because you see, the problem is that they believe that there's one Quran. But there is just the ones that he acknowledges in this video. 10 qira'at. 10 qira'at. 10 recitations. And 10, and you can just add a word there. When there's 10, that means they're different from each other. 10 different Qur'ans. Those are what's called the qira'at, the recitations. This is where you have one in Egypt, you have one in Morocco, you have different dialects, different ways of saying things. And I've showed you many, many times, and I'll do it again, the differences between these Qur'ans. These are the qira'at. But then there's what's called the sab'a ahruf, the 7 modes. In English, they call it modes. Yeah, in Arabic, it's called ahruf, which actually means letters. Ahruf literally means letters. And so just from that, and those are the ones that Yasser Qadhi is acknowledging here, you have 17 different Qur'ans. Just from what Yasser Qadhi just said. 17 different Qur'ans. Just on what Yasser Qadhi. And I have done so many shows where I showed you the differences between these Qur'ans. I'll just show you a few of the differences. If I could just show you a few of the differences, just really quickly, because, you know, it's such a huge issue. I don't want to go too far into it, but I just want to show you, one particular difference between the Hafs and the Warsh. And the reason this is important is because this right here, it does everything that we were told when I was a Muslim, the Quran is impossible. It's something that is impossible. Now, this is the difference between the Hafs version and the Warsh version. And the top one says, Humma Abd ar-Rahman. The bottom version says, Humma Ind ar-Rahman. So the Hafs version says, Humma Abad ar-Rahman. The bottom version says, Humma Ind ar-Rahman. Now, let me tell you, there's so many problems here. But let me just tell you the first one. First one is, we were told, and dude, I believed in this. I have beautiful, wonderful uncles. I love them so much. Beautiful, beautiful people. And my teachers are beautiful too. Nobody did this on purpose, but they were lied to too. And they were told that there's one Quran and it can't be changed. And I was told the gospel has been changed, the Torah has been changed, but the Quran cannot be changed. It is exactly like what came from the Lawh al-Mahfuz. The Lawh al-Mahfuz is a preserved tablet up in heaven. Jibreel would read it and bring it down to Muhammad. Muhammad would tell the Sahaba. The Sahaba then wrote it. And then there was the Quran of Abu Bakr, which ended up with Hafza. And then after that, after his caliphate, or Uthman was the one that compiled, because there were several different Qur'ans. There were several different Qur'ans in the time of Uthman. Uthman gathered all the Qur'ans, burned them, and left one, and that's the Uthmani Quran. Well, the Uthmani Quran had a problem. It did not have diacritical marks. Diacritical marks, see all these dots and everything you see around these words? Because if you look at the consonants of these two passages, the consonants are the same. But what's different is the dots and the diacritical marks. And so here on the top, you have Humma Abad, talking about angels. It says Humma Abad ar-Rahman. The top one says that. Humma Abad ar-Rahman. They are the slaves of Allah, talking about angels. But the bottom one, the dot is moved from the bottom to the top. And on the bottom one, what happens is it becomes Humma Ind ar-Rahman, because they move the dot from the bottom to the top. Okay, and when you move it on top, it becomes a noon, And when it's a noon, humma ind ar-Rahman. Whereas the other one is humma abad ar-Rahman. Because if you put the dot on top, it becomes an N. If you put the dot on the bottom, it becomes a B. And when it's B, humma abad ar-Rahman. They are the slaves of Allah. But when you put the dot on top, humma ind ar-Rahman. They are with the Most High. And so this is just between two of the Qur'ans. And this is one of the over 1,300 differences between the Hafs and the Warsh Qur'ans. But there's thousands of differences between, because there's all these different, we know of 37 Qur'ans. If you've seen the videos by Hatun Tash and Jay Smith, there's over 37 Qur'ans. And these are the type of differences. So anyway, but with what Yasser Qadhi was trying to say, and Yasser Qadhi came out after this and said, but there's only one Quran. There is only one Quran. But we got all these differences. He knows what he's saying isn't true. There's all these different Qurans. So, but for this video, I give Yasser Qadhi the bronze pretzel. The bronze pretzel. This is, I know it's a very controversial to give it to him because he's been so much in the media and stuff, but I really think he deserves it with all the twisting that he's doing, all the trying to make things fit, try to show that there's 10 qira'at, 7 ahruf, and yet there's only one Quran. So for that, I give Yasser Qadhi the bronze pretzel. Okay, now you may disagree with me. If you disagree with me, please feel free to tell me. Dragona, there's a huge difference. But, I'll just tell you what some of my cousins said. Some of my cousins said, no, it means the same thing. And one of my cousins even said, this is the miracle of the Quran, is that for one group of people, it means with, and for another group of people, it means slaves. And so, because we were so trained, and I'm speaking about myself too, because I was taught the same thing, that there's only one Quran. It's impossible that there be 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 or 70. There's only one Quran. And yet, when you find all these different Qurans, there's so many of them, you don't know what to do. Then you start twisting yourself into pretzels, trying to come up with an explanation for it. And so for that, like I said, I'm giving Yasser Qadhi the bronze pretzel. Okay, now the next pretzel, which is the silver pretzel. Okay, now for the silver pretzel. The silver pretzel, you guys, this was not easy for me. This was very difficult to find exactly which one I want to give the silver pretzel to. But there is an issue in the Quran, and that is that the Quran, the belief of Muslims is that Jesus did not die. Muslims believe Jesus did not die. But the Quran says he did. The Quran says he did. And I've done many videos about this, about the Quran says Jesus died. If you look at chapter 3, verse 55, it says, Ya Isa, Allah says, Allah call Allah, Ya Isa, inni mitwafiq uraf'ak ilayya. Jesus, I made you to die and raised you up to myself. In Surah Al-Ma'idah 117, Jesus says to Allah, لما توفيتني كنت أنت الرقيب عليهم. When you made me to die, you were the viewer over them. You were the watcher over them. لما توفيتني كنت أنت الرقيب عليهم. When you made me to die, you became the viewer over them. So there, Jesus is saying, you made me to die. And it's a past tense thing. It's not something that's going to happen in the future. And then when Jesus was a baby, he said, Salam alayhi yawm wulidtu yawm amutu yawm ab'athu hayy. Peace be upon me the day I'm born, the day I die, the day I come back to life. Okay, and I can show you these verses because that is very important. Here it is. It's called Allah. Ya Isa, inni mitwafiq uraf'ak ilayya. Oh Jesus, I made you to die and raise you up. The word mitwafi in the Quran always means to die. Okay, but I'm going to show you the silver pretzel. Who the silver pretzel goes to is because of this verse right here. Because of this verse right here, the silver pretzel will be awarded to a particular sheikh. Okay, then this one is Jesus speaking to Allah. He says, فَلَمَّا تَوَفَّيْتَنِي كُنْتَ الرَّقِيبَ عَلَيْهُمْ. when you made me to die, tawaffaytani. It's the same root word, wafat, that is in the other word, inni mutawaffik. It's the same root word, wafat. And it says, فَلَمَّا تَوَفَّيْتَنِي كُنْتَ أَنْتَ الرَّقِيبَ عَلَيْهِمْ. You are the watcher. Jesus speaking to Allah says this. So, oops, sorry about that. Oops, okay. And then there's this verse. This is Salam alayya yawm walidtu, yawm amut, yawm ba'thu hayy. Peace be upon me the day I am born, the day I die, the day I come back to life. Yom walidtu means the day I'm born. Yom amutu, the day I die. Yom ba'thu hayy, the day I come back to life. Now that Christians believe that. We believe that Jesus was born, he died, and came back to life. So Jesus said this when he was a baby. When he was a baby, Jesus said this. Salam alayya yom walidtu, yom amutu, yom ba'thu hayy. And so this verse, these three verses that I just showed you, and I'll just show you again just because it's so important. Okay, this is chapter 19, verse 27 or 33. This is chapter 3, verse 55. God says, "If called Allah ya Isa inni mutawaffiku rafa'aka ilayya." And then and chapter 5, verse 117, فَلَمَّا تَوَفَّيْتَنِي كُنْتَ أَنْتَ الرَّقِيبَ عَلَيْهِمْ. When you made me to die, you became the watcher over them. And so these are the three passages that in the Quran that say Jesus died. And there's one more. It's a little bit more difficult, so I'm not going to bring it in just because it's a little bit more difficult. But these are the three passages. So the Quran says Jesus died. It's very clear. Well, there was one sheikh, and this is the video that's going to get the silver pretzel, because this guy, here's the silver pretzel. This will go to the guy who did this video, because this guy does something that you're not supposed to do. He actually changed the Quran. He changed the words of the Quran in order to make it fit his doctrine, his belief. And so it's in Arabic, but I'll translate it for you if you don't understand the Arabic. This is what the sheikh said.
ما في مشكلة. ايه المشكلة؟ وسيدنا عيسى سيموت إذا نزل من السماء، سيمضي مدة في الدنيا ويموت. يعني وما جعلنا لبشر من قبلك الخلد. أما إذا كنت تقصدين هل مات عيسى ثم رفع، لا، الوفاة أحيانا تطلق على النوم. ففي الآية إني منيمك ورافعك إلي، إني متوفيك بمعنى منيمك. الله يتوفى الأنفس حين موتها والتي لم تمت.
Okay, so for those of you who know the Arabic, you can tell, welcome Isa, I hope you're here. I hope you're here with me, Isa. Isa, I hope that you're here. If you're not here, come over here. Excuse me a second, you guys, because there's this guy named Isa, and I want him to come right now. I invited him to come, and let me see if I can get him to come, because I want him to come. If he's around, I want him to come on here and join us, because I'm going to send you an invitation, Isa. See if you'd like to come with us. I invited him. I told him earlier today that I want him to come on with me. I don't know if he will, but I'm going to try to invite him. So just give me 1 second here, because I want to send him an invitation. I'd love for him to come on with me. Okay, this was a surprise that he came on, because me and him were having a little bit of issues today talking to each other, but it'd be great if he could come on right now. Okay, this was a surprise that he came on, because me and him were having a little bit of issues. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Anyway, if he comes on, I don't know if he will, but anyway, I want you to see, you guys, if you know the Arabic, I want you to hear again what the sheikh said.
ما في مشكلة. ايه المشكلة؟ وسيدنا عيسى سيموت إذا نزل من السماء، سيمضي مدة في الدنيا ويموت.
Okay.
أنا كنت أنت الرقيب عليهم.
ما في مشكلة. المشكلة سيدنا عيسى سيموت إذا نزل من السماء سيمضي مدة في الدنيا ويموت.
Okay, so the lady says to him, the verse that I just told you, فَلَمَّا تَوَفَّيْتَنِي كُنْتَ أَنْتَ الرَّقِيبَ عَلَيْهِمْ. It says, when you made me to die, Jesus speaking to Allah, you became the watcher over them. And the lady saying, this means Jesus died. And the sheikh is saying, what's the problem? You guys, he's this guy, Silver Pretzel. This guy is with this answer. What's the problem? He knows there's a problem. He knows there's a problem because he knows the Arabic. If you know the Arabic, now the English translations are all messed up, but the Arabic says, فَلَمَّا تَوَفَّيْتَنِي, when you made me to die, which means the Quran says Jesus died. And this sheikh knows it. And so he says, what's the problem? He knows what the problem is. And he even says what the problem is right afterwards. He says, oh, are you saying, does this mean that Jesus died? Absolutely not. And this is where it gets really dangerous, where it gets really tricky. And when I say dangerous, what I mean by that is that he changes the Quran. He changes the Quran. And let's listen to it again, you guys. Listen to what he says.
أنا كنت أنت الرقيب عليهم.
ما في مشكلة. سيدنا عيسى سيموت إذا نزل من السماء سيمضي مدة في الدنيا ويموت.
Okay, I want to tell you, just in case you don't understand the Arabic, what he says. He says, what's the problem? Jesus is going to die. He's going to come back down to earth and he's going to die. What's the problem? You see, he's predicting, he knows what the problem is.
أنا كنت أنت الرقيب عليهم.
ما في مشكلة. سيدنا عيسى سيموت إذا نزل من السماء سيمضي مدة في الدنيا ويموت. يعني وما جعلنا لبشر من قبلك الخلد. أما إذا كنت تقصدين هل مات عيسى ثم رفع، لا، الوفاة أحيانا تطلق على النوم.
Okay, then he's saying, oh, are you saying that Jesus died and then was taken up? Which is what the Quran says. He says, oh, do you mean that Jesus died and then was taken up? He says, no. You see, because the word here, death, or mitwafiq, means to put you to sleep. It means to put you to sleep. Okay? You guys, this guy, he has earned his pretzel, man. This guy has earned his pretzel. I mean, here's the word in Arabic. Inni mitwafiq. I made you to die. Inni mitwafiq. I made you to die. Okay? That's what is in the Quran. That's what it says in the Quran. This is chapter 3, Surah Al Imran, verse 55, Jesus or Muhammad. Chapter 3, verse 55. Okay? So, okay, the word is clear. You guys see this word? See the long word here? Because Arabic goes from the right to the left. So the first word is inni, which means I, mitwafiq, made you to die. Mitwafiq, I made you to die. So this is what is written in the Quran, chapter 3, verse 55. Inni mitwafiq. But you know what this sheikh says? And the word means wafat. It comes from wafat. And I've done many programs about this, that every time in the Quran where the word wafat is used, it means to die. It means to die. Except when it comes to Jesus. Because it's used twice with Jesus. And when it comes to Jesus, I'm sorry, I'm cooking, you guys, so that's why I came. I had to turn off my food. Inni mitwafiq urafi'ak ilayya. This is the verse. Let me show you the verse. Oh, not that one. Sorry. This is, I know I'm showing it to you in Arabic. It's called Allah, Ya Isa, inni mitwafiq urafi'ak ilayya. These are the words in question. Inni mitwafiq, I made you to die. And so this sheikh, what he's saying, and I'm going to play it again, Just because, guys, this guy has earned his pretzel. He has earned the silver pretzel because of what this guy says. I'm going to play the
كنت
game.
أنت الرقيب عليهم.
ما في مشكلة سيدنا عيسى سيموت إذا نزل من السماء سيمضي مدة في الدنيا ويموت. يعني ما وما جعلنا لبشر من قبلك الخلد. أما إذا كنت تقصدين هل مات عيسى ثم رفع، لا، الوفاة أحيانا تطلق على النوم. ففي الآية إني منيمك ورافعك إلي.
Okay, you guys. This guy changed the Quran. No, I mean, it's not even twisting. It's not even pretzel. Pretzel is where you twist it. Like it said, he changed the word. He changed the word because he doesn't want to say what the Quran says. He changed it from what it does say to munimuka. Munimuka. And you know what's interesting? He says, Inni munimuka wa raf'aka ilayya. That's not what the Quran says. The Quran says, Inni mitwaffik wa raf'aka ilayya. He changed it to Inni munimuka wa raf'aka ilayya. Huh? I thought you're not supposed to change the Quran. A sheikh is on TV, a sheikh is changing the Quran. Now listen again.
كنت أنت الرقيب عليهم.
ما في مشكلة سيدنا عيسى سيموت إذا نزل من السماء سيمضي مدة في الدنيا ويموت. يعني ما وما جعلنا لبشر من قبلك الخلد. أما إذا كنت تقصدين هل مات عيسى ثم رفع، لا، الوفاة أحيانا تطلق على النوم. ففي الآية إني منيمك ورافعك إلي.
In the verse, he says, Inni munimuka. He changed the word from Inni mitwaffik wa raf'aka ilayya. He said, Inni munimuka wa raf'aka ilayya. He changed the word. He changed the Quran on live TV. With live TV because a lady was calling him. And he just changed it. He just changed the word to make it fit his. I mean, that's twisting. That's big time twisting. And you know, as far as what I heard, the Quran's not supposed to be changed. This guy changed the Quran. I'll play it one more time for you, and then I'm going to go on.
كنت أنت الرقيب عليهم.
ما في مشكلة سيدنا عيسى سيموت إذا نزل من السماء سيمضي مدة في الدنيا ويموت. يعني ما وما جعلنا لبشر من قبلك الخلد. أما إذا كنت تقصدين هل مات عيسى ثم رفع، لا، الوفاة أحيانا تطلق على النوم. ففي الآية إني منيمك ورافعك إلي.
Okay. For that, this sheikh gets the silver pretzel. Yasser Qadi got the bronze pretzel, and this guy gets the silver pretzel. Because he did something I didn't think could be done on live television. He changed the Quran. Here's what the Quran says. This is what the Quran says. Inni mitwaffik. I made you to die. He changed it to Inni munimuka. I made you to sleep. I put you to sleep. Dude, he's changing the Quran. If that's okay with you, it's okay with you. Don't know what to say, but that's not what the Quran says. The Quran says, Inni mitwaffik wa raf'aka ilayya. Here's my cousin, has Sam, my cousin Sam. You guys, I love Sam. He's one of my dear cousins. I love him, and I know that. But he has this question. He says, has the question ever been altered or changed? I'm pretty sure that's happened to please people. It hasn't happened to please people. You know, the Bible, Sam, let me just tell you, Sam, that the Bible is originally 66 books. The Bible is like a library. It has 66 books. Has the Torah, which was written by Nebi Musa, which is 5 books. Then it has the history books, history of Israel, you know, with Joshua, Judges, Ruth, Esther, Nehemiah. Come on. Okay, excuse me a second, you guys. I'm trying to get Isa to come on. Where are you? Just push the duck. I am live now. Push the duck. Okay. I'm trying to get this guy, Isa, to come on with me. But, yeah, please pray for Sam. He's my cousin. I love him. I love all my cousins. They're mad at me, but I love them so much. Sam, we have the Bible. We have the original. Okay, just push the duck, Isa. Isa, push the duck, and it'll bring you here where I am. Sam, the Bible was originally written in Hebrew by أول واحد كان يكتب Ayub, and Nabi Ayub, the prophet Job. That's the oldest book. You know what, Sam? That with the Bible, we're not saying I do not have the cape. Oh, Isa, come on, man. Excuse me, Habibi. I'm such a champ. Try. I hope that Isa could come on. Let me see if I can. I'm trying to get this guy Isa to come on so that he could be with me today. I'm not sure. I mean, him were arguing. Not arguing. Yeah, arguing. Earlier, and so we were talking and stuff, and so I was trying to get him to come on so we could talk live in front of you guys. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it, but if he can't, it's okay. Sam, so the Bible was written. It's quite different. Inspiration, al-wahy, is different in Islam than it is in. Do you want to come on with me, Sam? Sam, do you want to come on with me? I'll send you an invitation, man. Okay, you guys, this is my cousin. I love him. I don't want any problems. I love my cousin. If you want to come on, we could talk. أنا ببعت لك دعوة, Sam. I'll send you an invitation. If you want to come on with me, you come on with me, okay? You guys, cousin, you'll see the family resemblance. Daughter Meshni. One thing that we're really good at is that the one thing that we're one issue that we all have in common is that we don't have hair. So we don't have hair. So if you want to come on, Sam, just push on the duck and you come on with me. If you want to come on, Sam, ahlo sahla beek. This is my cousin, you guys. I love my cousin. I want you to love my cousin, and I know you do. I know you guys love him. And so, Dar al-Meshni, we're very special. So, anyway, so Sam, the Bible was written by 40 different people. There's 40 different people. And it wasn't like with Muhammad. With Muhammad, the belief is that up in heaven, there's this, enter the topic now. Habibi, ahlo sahla Isa. Ahlo sahla Isa. Let me see. Isa's from another page, and he wants to come on, but he doesn't have the capability to come on. Excuse me a second. Let me see what we can do. Pray for Isa too. Pray that Isa will be able to come on. Okay, I'm going to try to send him the invitation on YouTube, you guys. Just 1 second here. Maybe he can come on YouTube. If I'm talking now about Isa, I'm talking about a different. I got all these different people that want to come on right now. So maybe he can come on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, Isa, I could talk to you there. Okay, this is the Golden Pretzel Award show. So anyway, let's hope that Isa can come. Let's hope that Sam can come. I really hope Sam can come. Sam, are you going to come on, man? Come on, Sam. Can you come on? Push the duck. Just push the duck, Sam. أنا بعت لك إياه على الماسنجر, Sam. أنا بعت لك الدعوة على الماسنجر. تعال. Come on, Sam. You can just push the duck on your messenger. خلي ولادك يعملوا. Your kids understand it. أنت ختيار زيي مش نافع على الcomputers. If you can, Sam, try to come on. I sent you the invitation. Oops. Or you can go on Google if you want. No. no. Sam, I don't want you to do that. Sam, I want you to come on to live stream with me. If you can. Just push on the duck. Just push on the duck. على البطة. دس على البطة وتدخل عندي. I don't know if he wants to, but if you want to, you're very welcome, Sam. Trade. You want to trade. I'm not sure what you're saying. Isa, المشكلة Isa, I have to keep going out to see you. I want you to come onto YouTube. Come onto YouTube, Isa. And come onto YouTube or come onto the live stream, because I can't keep going out to answer you. So anyway, you guys. Anyway, Sam. So the Bible is written by 40 people, and the Bible says about itself that it was inspired by God. Men of God wrote it as they were moved by the Holy Spirit, and so it was written in 2 languages. Actually, there was 3 languages: Hebrew, Greek, and we got Alaa Dean is back, you guys. Been a while since we've seen Alaa. Let's see. Ya رجل اخجل من نفسك. I'm not sure what Alaa Dean is saying. Alaa has always come on with me, and he always is very interesting. Anyway, you guys. Anyway, Sam, so the Bible's made of 66 books. They were written over a 1,600-year period. You know, the Quran was supposedly written, I don't know, there's 2 stories about the Quran. One is that it came down on Laylatul Qadr. Another is that it was written over 23 years. But, you know, the Quran was written over 23 years, and then they gathered it together. They did, it wasn't written down. It was on bones and on jilid, on leather, and it was written on leaves and everything. And then they didn't want to write it down because Muhammad didn't want to write down the Quran. But then Abu Bakr had a battle called Battle of Yamama. And then when the Battle of Yamama, what happened is many of the Huffaz started dying. And then Abu Bakr says, we need to write down the Quran. So he went and got Zayd ibn Thabit, who was Jewish, converted to Islam. And they got Zayd ibn Thabit to bring all the leaves and bones and everything together. And they wrote the Quran. And then they gave it to Hafsa. She put it under her bed for 10 years, even though Ibn Mas'ud, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, had his own Quran. And there was like 31 different Qurans at the time. But anyway, what happened is that there were several different Qurans. There were like 7 different Qurans during the time of Uthman. And during the time of Uthman said, hey, you guys, we got like 7 different Qurans. We're going to have problems just like the Christians. So let's just collect all the Qurans and burn them. He burned them. Uthman burned the Qurans. And then he made one Quran, the Uthmani Quran. But the Uthmani Quran, the Prophet didn't have diacritical marks, didn't have dots anywhere. So they didn't know what anything was. And that's one reason why you have this problem, which I already showed you guys, which is this, is that the Hafs version says, Humma Abad ar-Rahman, and the Welsh version says, Humma Ind ar-Rahman. And the reason this is because they didn't know where to put the dots. And they didn't put the dots for another 100 years. It was a guy named, dude, I got so much information going. But anyway, it wasn't done for another 100 years. That's why some dots are on top, some on bottom, some are 2 dots, some are 2, because in Arabic, those dots make a huge difference. And so anyway, so that led to a bunch of confusion. And so that's why we have so many different Qur'ans. That's why Yasser Qadi gets the bronze pretzel, because he talks about the 17 different Qur'ans. The Ashra Qira'at u Sab'a Ahruf. Those are 17 different Qur'ans that Yasser Qadi admits. And then, you guys, the silver pretzel goes to this guy. I know we've almost gone on.
ما في مشكلة وسيدنا عيسى سيموت إذا نزل من السماء سيمضي مدة في الدنيا ويموت. يعني وما جعلنا لبشر من قبلك الخلد. أما إذا كنت تقصدين هل مات عيسى ثم رفع، لا، الوفاة أحيانا تطلق على النوم. ففي الآية إني منيمك ورافعك إلي.
Okay. Silver pretzel. This guy gets the silver pretzel, you guys. He gets a silver pretzel because he changed the Quran. He twisted it. He wanted to twist it to say that Jesus didn't die. He actually changed the Quran. He says, instead of what the Quran says, which is what does the Quran say? And I showed you 100 times. Inni mitwafik uraf'ak ilayya. He wanted so bad to not say that that's what it says. He changed the Quran. Let's play it again so you guys can hear it. I want you guys to hear it. I know some people
فأنت
don't
الرقيب
care,
عليهم.
ما في مشكلة سيدنا عيسى سيموت إذا نزل من السماء سيمضي مدة في الدنيا ويموت يعني وما جعلنا لبشر من قبلك الخلد. أما إذا كنت تقصدين هل مات عيسى ثم رفع، لا، الوفاة أحيانا تطلق على النوم، ففي الآية إني منيمك ورافعك إلي.
So he's saying it's inni munimuka urafaka. He changed the word. So for that, this sheikh gets the silver pretzel. Well, then you guys are probably wondering, well, then who gets the golden pretzel? Who gets the golden pretzel? Okay, here, let me give you guys who the golden pretzel is. It goes to this guy because the biggest, hey, I'm still live. I'm still live, bro. Hey, Sam, I'm still live. Push the duck and you can come with me. Push the duck وبتقدر تطلع معي. Sam, I sent you the invitation. Push the duck وبتيجي عندي. تطلع عندي. Yes, I'm still live. اطلع معي. Push the duck and you'll come on with me. Okay? Now, before he comes on, let me show you who gets the golden pretzel. You guys, this is a huge moment. I know some of you guys, this is very controversial. Some of you guys don't agree with me about who gets the golden pretzel. Okay, who got the bronze pretzel?
Every single student of knowledge knows who studies. Every single student of knowledge.
The bronze pretzel goes to Yasser Qadi. The silver
فأنت الرقيب عليهم.
goes to this sheikh for changing the Quran to make it fit his doctrine. But the golden pretzel goes to this guy. And this is in English, so you guys can listen to it. It's so heartbreaking. It's about Aisha, Muhammad's 6-year-old bride. This is heartbreaking, you guys. But this guy gets, this guy gets the golden pretzel. The golden pretzel goes to this guy for how he tries to justify Muhammad's marriage to Aisha. How a 54-year-old man can have sex with a 9-year-old girl. Let's listen to him.
First of all, you do not have to respond to every question that you're asked. If someone asks you an inappropriate question, would you answer him? So if someone asks you about a previous sin, did you ever try champagne? Have you ever gone out with a woman and fornicated? And you say, oh, astaghfirullah, I can't lie. Okay, yes, I did. Or no, I didn't. No, you don't answer such questions.
Okay, so this guy's justification when he's asked, when you're asked, how could a 54-year-old man have sex with a 9-year-old girl? His justification is, you don't have to answer. You don't have to answer. So when somebody asks you, how could Muhammad, when he was 54 years old, have sex with Aisha, who was 9 years old? What do you tell him? You don't have to answer. Okay, let's listen to what else he has to say.
First of all, the Prophet was 53 years of age when he married Aisha. Was he married before that? Yes, he was married when he was 25 years of age. For a quarter of a century, he married a woman who was 15 years older than him. So he married a woman of 40 when he was 25 and remained married to her until she died when she was 65 years of age. This isn't the track record of a womanizer. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Muhammad. This is the track record of a decent man. In the prime of his youth, being satisfied and content with an older woman for 25 years, definitely this man is a decent person.
And so this guy's saying, sure, Muhammad was 51 when he married 6-year-old Aisha. And sure, he had sex with her when she was 9 and he was 54. Sure, yeah, that happened. Okay. But before that, he was married to Khadija. And Khadija was 15 years older than him. And he was with her for like 25 years. And he was faithful to her for all those 25 years, which shows that even though he married a little girl later on, he was a decent man. You guys, who agrees with me? Who agrees with me that this guy right here deserves the golden pretzel? Does anybody agree with me that he deserves the golden pretzel? I need support, you guys. I need you guys to stand with me because this is a very difficult decision for me. And so let's listen to what else this guy has. He has more. He has more insight into why it's okay that a 54-year-old man had sex with a 9-year-old girl.
But seriously, Sheikh, come on. Why did the Prophet ﷺ, when he was like 53 years of age, marry a child of 9 years of age? This is unheard of. Wait and don't fall into Satan's trap. Gather information, do your homework, make a research to understand the circumstances. Then you can answer this, inshallah, with clarity and transparency.
Okay, so now he's saying, are you coming in, Sam? Come on, Sam. Come in, man. I sent you the invitation. Push on the duck. Get your kids to do it. I know انت ختيار شاتت زيي. مش عارف. My cousin's an old man like me. He doesn't know how to make these computer stuff work. I told him to go get his kids because his kids always know this stuff better than us old folks. Khalik, push on the duck, Habibi. Push on the duck. خلي ابنك يسويها. Let your son push on the duck. He'll know how to come in. I love you, Sam. If you come in or not, I love you, Habibi. But I hope you can come in. I need بعتلك الدعوة على المسsenger. Push on it and you can come in with me. I want you to come in. خلي الناس يتعرفوا عليك. Let the people get to know you. Ask your kids. Your kids know how to do it. Thank you, Carlos. By the way, you guys, Carlos says this guy deserves a platinum. He said he deserves a platinum pretzel. Wait till you see the rest of what he says. He gets a diamond encrusted platinum pretzel. Wait till you hear the rest of what this guy says. And boy, this is total pretzel city. Watch this, you guys.
And Aisha, by the way, before the Prophet proposed to her, already Jubayr ibn Mut'am ibn Adi, may Allah be pleased with him, his father proposed to Abu Bakr for his son. So he proposed to Aisha to get married to his son Jubayr. But when Abu Bakr declined, then the Prophet ﷺ proposed. Why did the Prophet propose, ﷺ? Because Allah ordered him to marry her in a revelation. And he saw her picture twice brought to him by Jibril.
Okay, so now the reason he married a 6-year-old girl is because God told him to do it. Because Jibril gave him her picture 2 times. So you guys, you can make what you want of that. You know, a 60-year-old man dreaming about a 6-year-old girl. Okay. what do you think about a 51-year-old man who's dreaming of a 6-year-old girl? A 51-year-old man dreaming of a 6-year-old girl. Something's. What do you think of that? And it's like, and the problem, you guys. Let me just say what the problem is. Let me say what the problem is. The problem is that this is still going on. You see, if it was just Muhammad did it, okay, so he did it, and but the problem is it's still going on, and it's so big in the Muslim world, and the excuse is always Muhammad did it, so it's okay. You know what I'd really like? I'd like a Muslim to come on. Now I got 3 Muslims who are somewhere here listening. I got 3 Muslims here. I got Muhammad, I got my cousin Sam, and I got this other guy, Isa. You guys, I want one of you guys to come on and tell me that it's wrong for a 54-year-old man to have sex with a 9-year-old girl. Just tell me it's wrong for a 54-year-old man to have sex with a 9-year-old girl, because that's what Aisha said Muhammad did to her. Let me go ahead and just put it up for you. I've done it so many times. But here it is in English. This is Sahih al-Bukhari, the most highest source of hadith. The Messenger of Allah married her when she was 6 years old and consummated, that means had sex with her, when she was 9 years old, and he died when she was 18 years old. Here it is in Arabic. عن عائشة قالت تزوجها رسول الله وهي بنت 6 بنى بها يعني نام معها وهي بنت 9 ومات عنها وهي بنت 18. So this is Sahih al-Bukhari, and it's all over. It's not just it's in Sahih Muslim, it's in Tirmidhi, it's in Dawood, Sunan Abu Dawood. It's all over the place. It's it's so well known. And so here Carlos is saying something. They say it was okay to get married for her for political reasons. But he's an example. Then it's okay for a politician of state to do that now. You know what? Bro, this sheikh has earned the golden pretzel. And let me show you why. Because he's going to say exactly what you just said. And this is what I mean by pretzel, is he's twisting himself into different finagling to try to justify this thing. Let's see this last thing he says here.
Why did he marry Aisha? Because she was the daughter of his lifetime friend, his best friend, Abu Bakr. And they wanted to strengthen the bond. So he married her. But again, why at this young age? This is the norm. At the time of the Prophet ﷺ, this is the age that girls got married in. Don't judge their era with the standards we have today. In Kyrgyzstan today, the average age of marriage is from 10 to 13. In Mexico, in some states, the age of marriage is 14, and in some it's 18.
Dude, this guy earned the golden pretzel. He earned the golden pretzel. And when the thing that he says about Kyrgyzstan is a Muslim nation. He's saying that the age for marriage there is 10 to 14. It's a Muslim nation. They believe in what Muhammad did. And and then he talks about Mexico being from 14 to 18. There is a huge difference between 14 and 6. Aisha was 6 when she married Muhammad, 9 when they consummated. So there's a huge difference between 6 and 14. That's 8 years difference. Now, after you pass puberty, like if you're 20, between 20 and 28, there's not that big of a difference. Why? Because you've already reached puberty. You're already mature. So between 30 and 38, there's not that big of a difference. Between 40 and 48, there's not that big of a difference. But between 6 and 14, there's a huge difference because you pass through puberty. You're still growing. So there's a huge difference between 6 and 14. And so for him to make that comparison, which I hear a lot, is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous comparison. And the Kyrgyzstan thing doesn't help him because it's a Muslim country. And so anyway, you guys, a lot of you have been with me through this whole thing, and I really appreciate it. Appreciate that you were with me. Let me just go over this again with you one more time to show you who won the pretzels today, because this was the Golden Pretzel Award show. It was the Pretzel Olympics. And what I mean by pretzels is that you're trying to say something that just isn't true. And so you're twisting like a pretzel to make what is written say what you want. The first thing is the belief that, there's this issue, the difference between what Muslims believe and what the Quran says. Muslims believe there's only one Quran, but they have at least 10 qira'at, 10 recitations, and at least, and the sheikhs learned this. Go talk to your sheikhs in the jami'. They know these 10 qira'at, these 10 different Qur'ans, and they are different from each other. And then there's the 7 ahruf, 7 ahruf, 7 ahruf, 7 modes. Muhammad said the Quran came down in 7 modes. Well, then what about the one Quran? Because there's also this teaching that the Quran came from the Lawh al-Mahfud, the preserved tablet. And not one dot, not one line, not one word, nothing changes. It's perfectly preserved. Let me see if I could just find that for you guys. I know. I'm sorry that I'm kind of belaboring this, but I want you guys to see this is so important. This is so important because of what I go back to what I was taught. I go back to what I was taught in the Quran, about the Quran. And I know that this is still what is being taught, is that there is only one Quran. It's impossible that it be changed, and it's perfectly preserved because of Allah perfectly preserved it because of chapter 15, verse 9. It says, Inna nazalna idhikr wa inna nahnu lihafidun. We sent down the reminder and we preserve it. You see, and so this is what we were taught. All of us, if you were Muslim, this is what you were taught. And so when you start seeing all these differences, it's a huge issue. It's a huge issue because it means something's not right. Somebody's lying to us, and you know what? I can't find that. I can't find that. What I want to show you guys. Okay, wait a second. Maybe I did. Okay, yeah, this is what I want to show you guys. This is what we were taught. This is what we were taught, you guys. This is what we were taught. Okay. It's a miracle of the Quran that no change has occurred in a single word, a single letter of the alphabet, a single punctuation mark, or a single diacritical mark in the text of the Quran during the last 14 centuries. This is what we were taught. And yet, there's all these different Qurans. And then let's just listen a little bit. I'm not going to listen to the whole thing. Just listen a little bit to why I gave the bronze pretzel to yes.
Every single student of knowledge knows, who studies Ulum al-Quran, that the most difficult topics are ahruf and qira'at, and the concept of ahruf and the reality of ahruf, and the relationship of the Uthmanic Mus'haf with the ahruf, and the preservation of the ahruf. Is it 1? Is it 3? Is it 7? And the relationship of the qira'at to the ahruf. This is a topic that when you're the beginning student of knowledge, you're like, what is all of this going on here? When you go a little bit more, you learn to simply memorize what your teachers say and regurgitate it out. And you don't fully comprehend.
You see, I'm not a Muslim. But I tell you what, if I was a Muslim And he said that about me. And he's already in trouble. He's in huge. Thousands of Muslims left Islam because of this interview, you guys. Because of this interview, thousands of Muslims left Islam because of this interview. It was a huge controversy. And he came out a few days later and says, you guys, there's only one Quran, even though here he says, there's the Qira'at and the Ahruf, 17 Qur'ans, and there's other Qur'ans, and you don't understand it because you're too dumb and only the scholars, and you shouldn't even talk about it in front of the untrained masses. That's what he was saying. Just listen to the interview. If I was a Muslim and I listened to this, I would be so insulted. It's so insulting, the stuff he says to Muslims. He says, you're not supposed to say this in front of the people. I never talk about this in front of people, only among the educated class. It's like, really? Yeah, really? Yeah. So anyway, for that, you guys, I gave Yasser Qadi the bronze pretzel. Now, had this interview been more had this interview been more recent, I would have moved him up, maybe to silver pretzel. But because this is a little bit, it's almost a year old or so, I went ahead and just gave him a bronze pretzel. Second pretzel, again, the issue is Muslims don't believe Jesus died, but the Quran says he did. And most strikingly, in these three passages that I will show you, one is Jesus speaking to Allah says in chapter 5, verse 117, فَلَمَّا تَوَفَّيْتَنِي كُنْتَ الرَّقِيبَ عَلَيْهِمْ. When you made me to die, you were the watcher over them. Chapter 5, verse 117 very clearly says that Jesus died. And then another passage, it says, Salam alayya yawmulidtu yawmamutu yawmab'athu hayy. This is chapter 19, verse 33. And it means, peace be upon me the day I'm born, the day I die, the day I come back to life, which is what Christians believe. And it's in the Quran. Jesus said this when he was a baby. Peace be upon me the day I'm born, the day I die, the day I come back to life. Chapter 1933. It's the gospel in the Quran. So, and then this is the one where the controversy is, where it says, this one is chapter 3, verse 55, where it says, "It called Allah ya Isa inni mitwafiku rafa'aka ilayya." Oh Jesus, I made you to die and raised you up to myself. And the word here, the key word is inni mitwafika. I made you to die. Allah talking to Jesus says, I made you to die. So it's clear that Jesus died in the Quran. But what does this sheikh do?
ما في مشكلة. إيه المشكلة؟ سيدنا عيسى سيموت إذا نزل من السماء، سيمضي مدة في الدنيا ويموت. يعني وما جعلنا لبشر من قبلك الخلد. أما إذا كنت تقصدين هل مات عيسى ثم رفع، لا، الوفاة أحيانا تطلق على النوم. ففي الآية إني منيبك ورافعك إلي.
Okay, so for this, the guy changed the word. He changed the word. The word says, Inni mitwafik. I made you to die. He changed it to, I made you to sleep. I made you to sleep and raised you up to myself. For that, he gets the silver pretzel. That's a silver pretzel, man. He earned it 100%. And the final, which I just showed you, is this guy. And I could have given it to some other guys because there's a bunch of other guys who deserve it too. But let's listen to just one part of what this guy said. Okay.
And Aisha, by the way, before the Prophet proposed to her, already Jubayr ibn Mut'am ibn Adi, may Allah be pleased with him, his father proposed to Abu Bakr for his son. So he proposed to Aisha to get married to his son Jubayr. But when Abu Bakr declined, then the Prophet ﷺ proposed. Why did the Prophet propose, ﷺ? Because Allah ordered him to marry her in a revelation. And he saw her picture twice brought to him by Jibril.
So there's actually two things he's saying there. Number one, there's another guy that proposed to Aisha. Jubair, he proposed to Aisha when she was 6 years old. But Abu Bakr refused. But then when Muhammad wanted to, and Muhammad at first, and Abu Bakr did not want to marry Muhammad to marry Aisha. I know whatever this guy says, Abu Bakr said, "Wait a minute, we're like brothers." And I think that he says, "How can you marry my daughter when we're like brothers?" And I think what Abu Bakr was saying is, "Wait a minute, she's just a little girl, man. Would you wait a while?" And but who knows what his real intention was. But anyway, for that interview, that sheikh gets the golden pretzel. The Aisha interview, he gets the golden pretzel. So what do you think about my way of evaluating these three? This is an annual event. I'm not going to be doing this every week, you guys, unless some really crazy stuff comes up. But this is just an annual event like the Oscars or like the Olympics. You know, this is like the Pretzel Olympics. You guys, it's not going to happen all the time. Don't think I'm going to be doing this every week. There's a lot of work goes into this. But anyway, I'm making fun. I'm making a little bit of joke, but this isn't funny. The stuff about Aisha. Yeah. So anyway, that's my awards, and next week, hopefully, you guys, I'm going to be putting up my what's my called? It's called my Patreon. If anybody you would like to support me to help me with this, so I don't have to sell pizza so much. Yeah, poor Aisha is right. Cool pretzel. I came up with that Pretzel Olympics. But and I don't know where my cousin went. I wish my cousin would have come on. Sam, I love you, bro. I love you. I know you guys are so mad at me about this, but you guys got to know what this guy was like, what Muhammad was like. And I love you guys. And the most important thing is I want you guys to go to heaven. I want you guys to accept the Lord Jesus into your heart. Say, Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. He loves you. I love you. Thank you for being with me today. God bless you.